Welcome to Let Freedom Ring. My name is Israel Becker. I'm the rabbi of Congregation Chafetz Chaim and the director of the Southwest Torah Institute here in Tucson, Arizona. I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who participated in the support of this project and made this wonderful production possible. Just imagine you are in 15th century Spain and you're holding a Seder in a basement below a basement. And at any time, you could be discovered by the inquisitors, but you bring your family together and you celebrate Pesach. Imagine you're in Siberia, lonely, far, far away from any family, from anything that you have been connected with in your past. You are in shackles and you celebrate Pesach. Imagine you're in the Warsaw Ghetto and you're trying to find a rabbi. Maybe there's a rabbi who's still alive because you want to ask him a question. I found some potato peels. I have a little bit of flour. Can I mix them together and use them for matzah? I don't have wine. I managed to get some tea. Can I use that for the 4 cups? Imagine you're in the Warsaw Ghetto and you go with the great rabbi of Piaseczna and you below ground and you find a well because you don't have any water to bake matzah with, and you risk your life. And then you go ahead and bake the matzahs, and the Nazi stormtroopers can come in at any time. And we know that would be your end. Imagine you're 10 years old, and you're in the Kinderblock at Buchenwald. Your parents and family are dead. You huddle together with other children, age 10, age 8, age 12, age 15, and in different corners. You have no Seder, but you know it's Pesach night, and you ask each other the Manishtana, the 4 questions. What is the source of your strength? What is the source of your courage? How do you celebrate freedom when you are not free? How do you celebrate the holiday of freedom when you are shackled? Throughout history, and especially in recent times, numerous nations have tasted freedom from tyranny, freedom from oppression, freedom from brutal dictatorship. And when they are victorious, a liberated nation forms that declares its independence and its desire to rule itself. The exodus from Egypt, our freedom, was different. We left the servitude of Pharaoh and became servants of God. And that's what happened initially. When God met with Moses for the first time at the burning bush, God told him, when I take you out of Egypt, you will come to this mountain, which is Mount Sinai, and you will serve me here. At the Pesach Seder, we drink 4 cups of wine. Each cup represents a different expression of freedom. The first cup, God told us, I shall take you out from the forced labor of Egypt. The second cup, I shall free you from slavery. The third cup, I shall liberate you with a demonstration of my power. The fourth cup, I shall take you to me as a people, and I shall be a God unto you. But our exodus, our freedom is different. We left the servitude of Pharaoh and we became the servants of God. Why then is Pesach called Ziman Cherusenu, the holiday, the festival of freedom? I'm still a servant, and I have a new master, and that new master is God. Let's take a look at the words of the Torah itself. When God gave us his commandments, he introduced himself with the words, I am the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. And then he gave us the commandments. These commandments were etched in stone. Let's have a Hebrew lesson. The word etched in Hebrew is chorus. It means engraved. If you take those very same Hebrew letters, ches, resh, vav, saf, they spell cherus, which is freedom. The commandments that were chorus engraved on the tablets of stone are the key to our cherus, the key to our freedom. Let freedom ring, because our commitment to strive to live by the beautiful teachings of God are our eternal doorway to a life of beautiful freedom. Let freedom ring. At Mount Sinai, God told us, I took you out of Egypt, and you shall be to me forever a treasured nation. We forever will be the devoted servants of God. We are free. The Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Inquisitors, the Nazis, the Communists, they may oppress us. They may imprison us, but they cannot touch our spirit. They cannot reach into our soul. During the years before the independence of the State of Israel, there were many young Jews who were imprisoned by the British. There was a great holy rabbi, Rabbi Yair Levine, who would visit them, befriend them, bring them comfort and strength and encouragement. One time, after or in the middle of Passover, the great rabbi visited the prisoners and he asked them, how was your Seder? And they said, Rabbi, the Seder was really good. We had what we needed, except when it came to the part of the Seder where we opened the door, they didn't let us do that. The rabbi smiled, and in his very special, warm way, he told them, you're making a big mistake. You have the keys. The keys are within you. The keys are within your soul. God gave you the keys when he took you out of Egypt. God gave you the keys at Mount Sinai. You don't need the keys to be handed to you by the British. You have them inside you. Let freedom ring. During the 1990s, after the fall of communism, the Reichman family of Toronto decided that they would like to do everything possible to rebuild Jewish life in Budapest, Hungary. They hired a professional educator from England to move to Hungary to do publicity, bring people together, write articles, and form a school. They asked him several weeks before opening, how many children do you think will be coming? And he predicted, well, it's good. There seems to be some very positive response. I think we'll have about 45 children. On opening day, 450 children came. It was amazing. They had to scramble, and they flew in educators from all over the world and established a successful Jewish school. Within the next weeks, this principal gathered together groups of parents in order to speak to them and find out, why do you want to have your child in our school? And at one such meeting, different parents spoke. One would say, yes, I remember my grandfather. And one would say, I remember this. And one would say, I just want him to have a Jewish education. There was a man who seemed very serious, wasn't saying anything, but the principal felt that he had something to say, and he called upon him. And he asked him, why are you here? And he said, I'm embarrassed to tell you this, but I want to say it anyway. In 1944, when the Nazis were coming into Budapest, one night I was laying in my bed upstairs and I heard my parents in the living room. There was a bitter argument between them. I couldn't sleep. I came downstairs and I wanted to go into the living room to see what was happening, but the door was locked. I looked through the keyhole and I listened. And my mother was saying, they're going to come. The Nazis are going to come. They're going to take us. And my father said, we don't have anything to worry about. There's nothing Jewish in our house. Nobody even knows we're Jewish. And my mother said, yes, but they have lists. They have lists. They'll find us. And my father said, oh, well, even if they come into our house, they'll find nothing Jewish here. And just then, I saw through the keyhole my parents both looking up to the top of the bookcase. And my mother climbed up and brought down a book. This is a siddur. This is a prayer book that was given to me on the day of our wedding by my mother. And her mother gave it to her on the day of her wedding. And I saw my mother looking at the siddur, and then next to her there was the fireplace, and the fire was on, and she threw it into the fireplace and said, we don't need this. I knew something was terribly wrong. I ran up to my room and cried. And this has been so disturbing to me ever since. I'm here today, and I brought my son to this school because I want him to get the siddur that my mother threw into the fire. Let freedom ring. We are a treasured nation. We have a flame. We have a spirit within us. Why indeed did Hitler pursue and seek to destroy every single Jew? Even those who did not show a trace of Jewish life or observance. The Nazis understood the hidden strength of the Jew. They understood that within any living Jew there lies a sleeping giant that could be awakened at any time and emerge close to God with all its strength and all its beauty. Let freedom ring. Let us not turn to others to remind us of our strength. In Egypt, God passed over and gave us our true freedom. This Pesach, let us not pass over God. Let us not pass over an exciting opportunity to reaffirm our own personal connection with God. After all, our love relationship dates back 3,326 years, and it's going strong.